Yeah, hello. We have Team Britty, which is at the bottom of the table right now, I believe, versus Rep Cartel Mark II, which is the Tuskers team captained by Suleiman.
Yeah, and the team pretty is also named on Tranquility. This was team captained by Cyrix as VP Freeport Republic. So we're just waiting for them to start their bans now, and the first ban comes out from Solomon of the Oracle. Again, pretty predictable first ban here. Teams definitely wanting to make sure that's not on grid.
Oh, Team Pretty panning the Hyperion on the blue team. That's kind of an interesting ban,
Yeah,
considering they're going to be probably the armor team. Extra ban by Rep Cartel. That means Team Pretty will be able to. Well, I guess it's actually a safe ban now that they've already banned the Hyperion. A Team Pretty can ban a logistics, although I guess they're going for the black, but it doesn't really make sense, I think, to because they're already going to get the armor cruiser, the Augur anyway, if they wish to pick it.
Yeah, this is an interesting start. We could see either team go shield here. There, I think Team Pretty might end up going shield. Although I know they have been favoring arm setups, and they've got the Agora on the option there. But they could go mail in here quite conceivably. I think they've banned out the Hyperion there, possibly for that reason. Yeah, so Vigil locked in there by Sully on the red side. To pretty predictable first pick there, and Team Pretty going for Punisher Algos.
Yeah, that combination is probably the most popular for the Big Destroyer, especially for the blue team. I think Rep Catel probably going to pick up the Tower here, or the Corex maybe as a replacement. Although I think the Tower is probably considerably better than the Corex because the mitigation bonus that it gets, the MWD sig reduction, is probably a bit more powerful than the Corex's application bonus.
Yeah, it depends on what they want to be doing with the destroyer, I guess. But yeah, predictably, Sully has picked up the tower. It's definitely seeing a meta develop here. Interesting how it shifted week to week, and this is slightly different from the minor league, but still definitely like we're seeing certain ships like Punisher, like Tower, Vigil, Algos coming out in most matches as teams kind of figure out what is going to be the most optimal way of winning. Sully going for the Caracal here, so they're going for a full DPS setup. It looks like which is interesting there. They usually favour kind of tanky setups, but I guess after the drone match last time, they decided to do away with that and just go all in with the Caracal. And also Team Pretty have picked the Augur.
Yeah, the Ogress also, I think it's a bit weaker than the Excro in terms of personal tank. So the Caracal with the rapid lights and the tower might have an easier time getting through the Augur than the Excra. Raven banned by Team Pretty. I think that's a pretty reasonable ban. The Tempest is on the table for Silliman's team, which would probably be a likely choice.
Possibly, yeah. Tempest would be a really good choice, I think, in this scenario. Possibly Rogue as well, with its decent amount of hit points and XLASB, if it can brawl in and get on top of Breeze battleship. The Caracal obviously has a lot of bursty damage, so with a high damage battleship and a high damage battle cruiser, you can basically just render the opponent's logistics team pretty, just, basically just overwhelm it with DPS and not really worry about it too much, which is a potentially. Rep Cartel banning Dominix. They obviously having picked King Dominix last time and then banning it this time. They obviously have a lot of respect for the Dominix, and possibly that means they're going to be concerned about capacitor. So possibly Rogue coming in there. They've Team Pretty picking the Harbinger. I think pretty sensible pick. It's gonna with a no logi on Rep Cartel's side. The Harbinger is going to be really lethal to the Talwar and the Caracal.
What do you think they're going to go with? I think Drake Tempest is a pretty reasonable Battlecruiser lineup. Maybe Hurricane Tempest if they prefer the kiting power. Okay, yeah, the Hurricane. I think probably Cinema's going to pick up the Tempest here as well. I'd be surprised if it's something else. Oh, the
Oh,
APOC. That's
APOC.
interesting. They don't actually have a Logi, so they can actually do that. The APOC is very powerful and it's not banned.
It
It has a.
is. Yeah, sorry, cutting into you there over my excitement. I apologize. Yeah, the APOC is often really, really often banned out because it has great damage application. It has great range and it has really a lot of DPS. So with no Logi, they've just kind of gone for the best battleship they feel in that scenario. And yeah, I think good, interesting call basically there. Kind of mixing it up a bit and throwing Team Pretty off their game a little bit.
I think that Augur is going to be in a lot of pain with that APOC, with that Hurricane, with that Caracon Tower. All of those ships have really good projection and tracking, and it's going to take, I think, it's going to be deleted almost immediately. Well, and the thing is, the Armageddon, I don't think it has enough range to deter the APOC. The Hurricane Caracon Tower don't care about Cap. I mean, I think they're going to lose the Logi straight away, and can a Harbinger and Armageddon match up to the Hurricane and APOC without Logi? It's going to be a tough match, I think, for
I think
Team
so.
Pretty.
Yeah, definitely. I think Sullivan's gone for kind of a scalpel approach here. They're just going to cut straight into Team Pretty's setup, remove that Agora, and then kite out the rest basically while they have, and then have a DPS advantage to kite out the rest of the match. Once that Agora goes down, the Punisher and the Algos are essentially going to, they're going to drop really quickly, and they don't have a lot of other use really apart from tackle and support. So if Sully pulls this off, it's going to be super cool. And I really hope he does. The Armageddon's going to have to brawl really far in, I think, to try and get newts on that APOC to be useful. We'll see what the other commentators think. Nash, do you like these setups?
I think so too, and I think going by the comments on Twitch there as well, some really, really good picking, really good bans, and I think it's starting to show, as the tournament has developed, how captains have prepared themselves for, being blue or being red, and being very, very good at preparation and getting their teams sorted. We're going to go and talk real quick about the previous match that we have just seen, and obviously about the match coming up. We should have approximately 4 minutes before the teams are ready to be moved. First off, real quick about the previous match. So the previous match we just saw was Volta versus the other team. BRJ, I'm going to throw it straight back to you before I go to the rest of the guys. What did you make of that match?
The previous match was really weird. Like, it seemed to drag on a lot longer than I thought it would. I don't really know what to make of it. It just it lasted ages with a lot of high tank ships on the field. That Drake, I kind of felt like why didn't he die a lot earlier? Where was the DPS from the Geddon? It just seemed not to be able to hit very hard. And I think that it all came down to target calling in that match. And prioritizing. Interestingly, the Executor was just never even locked. I thought Drake could have caught that and pounced on top of it and webbed it, and they could have gone for that, but it was ignored, which was really strange. I thought generally an odd match, well done to the other team for winning.
Absolutely. I'm going to have a quick chat with Suetonia here, and I just wanted to throw a little bit of statistics and points out there as well. So thanks to Elinari on our team, who's doing some amazing spreadsheets, and I mean some 14-page spreadsheets that feed into several different spreadsheets and give us the most up-to-date information as correct as possible. We get to view this all live, and it gives some very good insight. So the Major League, as it stands at the moment, is headed up after everybody has played 3 matches. So it's all even Stevens at this point in terms of matches played by the other team, leading by 10 points. Then in second place we have Team Johnny, who we actually referred to as the Tuskers B team last time, which I think is a little bit unfair. Suetonia, I'm sure you agree, since what we refer to as the Tusker A team is actually trailing in 5th position. What do you make of that?
Yeah, it's interesting, and something that's actually really interesting about this match coming up is both Team Pretty and Rep Cartel, Suleiman's team, the Tuskers A team. They've both won 1 and they've lost 2, and this will be their 4th match played out of 5 matches. So whoever wins or loses this match is very likely going to either face or get out of relegation. Of course, the 5th and the 6th position in the Major League will be relegated down to the Minor League for Season 2 in February.
Absolutely, and I think this is perhaps shocking for some of us in terms of some of the teams that have participated in both leagues. We've had to pick the remaining 4 spots of the minor league, for example, from applications, and we picked the teams that we felt would put up the best fights, and this has been voted on by some of the guys in management of the EVNT esports section, and this included, for example, the PL team. So I'm going to throw this one back to Bay again, who's obviously had a say in this as well. It was a tough decision to get these guys back in after their performance in the first championship, but again, this championship, it looks like they're not going to make it.
Yeah, Yeah, I think the format it's a lot harder to manage the situation 100% with fittings and the game plan. There's a little bit of kind of like gut feeling, kind of just going with what you think will work best in that particular match when you pick some bans, which can go all horribly wrong. I think when team captains kind of like throw each other a curveball, team captains in alliance tournament setting are very used to going in with everything pre-prepared 100%. From every down to the right single little bit of ammunition, right script, like every pilot knows exactly what is to do for that setup. Whereas here they're kind of like being forced into setups that are not optimized, and I think that's leaving some of the kind of like more experienced team captains a little bit frustrated, possibly, and throwing and making them a little bit kind of like, why can't I control everything? And the teams that are doing well seem to be the ones that are kind of more happy to just pick up and go. Team Johnny sitting at the top of the table just now, or they were before the other team won, and Falnax and Clever Girls sitting at the top of the minor league, just showing that I think having like a good team communication and quite tight kind of team and just approach it with a bit of fun will take you a long way in this format. So yeah, so far so good. Some interesting upsets, and I've been talking far too long.
No, that's cool. That's absolutely no problem at all. The more you talk, the less I have to talk. So I think that makes everybody much happier. I think much kudos to everybody that's been involved on our side, specifically yourself heading up the team on doing the balancing, which again shows how good this has been. Like some of the statistics that we've managed to put out, thanks to Elinari, really show a really good balance between the teams on either side. So both the red or the blues winning practically equal amount. So it just shows that the balance on the banning is really, really good. It does show that you just need to have the right tactics, and there is no real advantage of being either red or blue. And additionally, on the ships themselves, there is no real advantage so far, Sutonia, in terms of the ships being more of the shield variety or the armor variety, which seems to be pretty equal as well. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think.
Go ahead. Yep.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were coming to the match.
No.
Yeah, I think Logilus setups and shield and armor are all very equally balanced to each other. So it seems like it's really well balanced and it's going really well. You don't necessarily have an advantage on either the reds or the blue team, or with no Logi setup.
Perfect. Okay, I see that the ships of both teams are now arriving on field and we are ready to go. So we're going to go straight to Madden and Rain for this final match this evening, and we'll be back straight after.
Madden Canrende here with Rain Chocolate for the final match of today's Event Championship setup. We've got a great one for you with Team Pretty versus the Tuskers Co. I will introduce Team Pretty, who have warped in at range of 50 kilometers. They brought together an Armageddon, Harbinger, Augur, Algos, Punisher. Lots of them are Pride there today. Rain, you want to introduce Tuskers?
Yeah, so Rep Cartel Mark II brought the Apocalypse, Hurricane, Caracal, Tower, and Vigil, and all at 50. So you can see these teams have obviously both opted to warp in at 50, as we said, and so they're almost a perfect 180 degrees away from each other. It looks like they might be slightly closer since they both kind of warped in at the top angle. We have 30 seconds until the match starts.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a fun one. I mean, obviously, the question is going to be, does the Augur just instantly disappear? Does the Armageddon have the opportunity to do something to that APOC and try and nuke it out? I think that's going to be kind of the decider. I think in the first 10 seconds, we may really know how this is going to go.
Yeah, I'm curious to see, because obviously I think the Execure is stronger than the Augur, and it's the more popular pick, even though it still doesn't duel. So I'm curious to see if this Augur actually is able to perform and help his team win.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they didn't have a choice because the Execure was banned, but they could have gone shields. You know, they made the decision that they're going to go they're going to go armor instead, and because that's the classical, maybe secondary choice. As you're seeing the Algos take damage here for Team Pretty.
Yeah, and this Vigil has immediately has given himself transversal and is burning around the arena, kind of at an angle. Looks like this Harbinger is being primaried, though he's just now hitting armor, with the Apocalypse on the Rep Cartel side being primaried.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that we're not seeing Logic get shot. I'm really surprised that the Augur is not the primary right off the bat. They're gonna go for the Harbinger. I really think that's a harder choice. That's a lot of tank. I mean, I get positioning is hard, but I would have tried to find a way to say, to at least test the tank of this Augur when you've got such a fantastic range and immediate applicability advantage, doubling up with the fact that they don't have any reps. This is, when they take damage, this is it for them.
Well,
Obviously, they may have some drones, but still.
So this Apocalypse actually has medium shield bots on him, than Tech 2 as well. So even though I guess it's more of like an armor tank ship, they still have those shield bots on him. So the rest of his fleet seems to be more shield tanked.
Yeah, and the APOC does have a larger insular rep, so I shouldn't say there are no reps. I mean, there is no Logi on this team. Is this Algos absolutely is doomed. I know he already had a rep preloaded on him. It is not enough.
Oh, no.
Algos, goodbye.
Yeah, and those reps from the Augur are actually small reps instead of like medium or large reps that most cruiser Logis have. So he has a lot of them, but they're all small, so he has to stick within that range and keep his team alive, which didn't work for that poor Algos.
Yeah, and sometimes you see small reps on a ship like a cruiser size like that because of cap problems, but small reps mean less repping power, problems with range. There's a number of reasons the Augur has been less used in this tournament because it is just not quite as strong of a Logi ship here. So definitely he's struggling to keep up this Harbinger now, essentially solo, though he put some reps in the Armageddon by accident. That was a mistake. I do not believe this Harbinger will stay alive, as this Hurricane is also going to die, no doubt about it.
Yeah,
but,
Hurricane's in structure, and the Harby's almost in structure, even with the Augur reps.
Maybe the Hurricane off the field, the Harbinger could stay alive. So, maybe all this DMW needs to do is just keep up the Harbinger a little bit longer. Now the Punisher's taking a ton of damage too. But if they can take it out of this Hurricane, if Suleiman goes down, that gives Pretty a real good shot still.
Yeah, he's almost dead, but the Harbinger is in like a third structure.
Yeah, but you know what?
Like
that could have been the difference maker. That's a lot of DPS off the field now. You got to remember. I mean, Hurricane's a huge DPS buffer here. So Harbinger now, I think, is actually he's gaining. Yep, he's gaining on his tank. I think APOC's very strong, but now Newts may become a factor if the Armageddon can get on top of him.
Yeah, the Armageddon was newting him, and he's still newting him. So even though he's still in his shield, he has had newts on him for quite a while, but he's still shooting.
Yeah, and I don't think anyone really expected this match to go the way it has, but essentially, if you can say, I've got an Armageddon, here are my newts, and the APOC doesn't do a lot about it at the beginning of this match, at some point, his guns will turn off, if they haven't already.
Yeah, and he's entering into armor, but he's still punching that Harbinger through the Augur reps. Augur's barely keeping him within armor and out of structure.
Yeah, but he's keeping them alive, and the APOC's not getting that armor back. That solo bots that are on him is not going to do the trick. I think this may be already be over. That tower is gonna just explode.
Yeah, tower is now down.
I mean, the Caracal is a great ship and all, but I do not believe a Caracal is a good matchup for this Armageddon. I just don't believe it.
I mean, at least the Caracal's guns don't get turned off, or its launchers don't get turned off because of nades.
That's true. The Caracal could kill the Punisher. I will definitely say the Caracal versus Punisher matchup I like. The Vigil, I do not think is going to make a big difference in this match.
Well, Vigil's actually painting the Punisher, which is now in structure with no reps on him. So hopefully the Caracal can at least kill something with that.
Yeah, it's important to get kill mills. I mean, we talk about this being another server, but kill mills are still an important part of EVE. And every time you see a pretty explosion like we just saw, that just makes you feel warm and fuzzy. So I want to see this Punisher die. Now, I know we're going to see the Vigil and the Caracal die. Those are gimmies. But I want to see one extra explosion. So I hope out of this match, the one thing that we still have on the table here is that Caracal taking the opportunity to kill the Punisher, as the Vigil insta-blows almost, except it didn't die in one round. It'll have to die in another.
Yeah, so the Augur obviously kept the Harbinger alive. I want to say it's keeping the Punisher alive, but it doesn't even look like it's repping the Punisher. It's just passively regaining shields.
No, Punisher can just do whatever it wants. It's probably out of range anyway, with the Augur's reps. Yeah, I mean, this just goes to show, initial targeting calls, where you are in the field, you really don't know what's going to happen. Even though Tuskers had great range, obvious ships, really strong, great comp. Team Pretty came out there. They executed perfectly. The Armageddon got on top of the APOC. And essentially, by the end of this match, Anuka could do nothing to stop it and was basically just sitting there waiting for the end. Now, I don't know how to say the character's name, but it's a pretty ship. Is not even able to kill this. Evil, thank you. Is not even able to kill this Punisher, and that's a little disappointing. But otherwise, fantastic job to Pretty. I mean, hats off. Sierrick and Co. You guys, you really did a fantastic job here, holding this one down. Great victory.
We have good fights in local, and with that, we'll send it back to the studio.
The new high-performance Rig 500 headset from Plantronics is designed to match the skills of an aspiring esport player with the gear they need to win. The new modular system gives you the power to adapt, upgrade, and personalize your headset for the task at hand. The Rig 500 series of gaming headsets are engineered to deliver the perfect combination of durable lightweight comfort in an immersive audio environment. 7.1 surround sound and 24-bit audio provide a stunning 360-degree sound field with directional audio. 40mm drivers with low-frequency resonators provide crisp highs and boosted bass. Clear voice noise-canceling technology provides clear communication to your teammates. From the headset company that equips the pros, the 500 series was crafted to meet the needs of esports and competitive players around the world. The new Rig 500 series of headsets from Plantronics. Respect the training. Reactions win.
Welcome back for this final segment in tonight's show. A bit of a disappointment, I have to say. At the start of this tournament, I already had chats with everybody pretty much in the team, and I said, I know who's going to win this. As always, my money is going to be on Suleiman to win this tournament because I have the greatest respect for him as a captain, as a pilot. He's probably the best PvPer that I know in-game and had the pleasure of shaking hands with. But oh my god, they seem to be dropping and dropping hard. Suetonia, are they even going to remain in the Major League at the end of the season?
The only way they remain in the Major League is if they win the last match they have. They have played 4 out of 5 matches, and Volta do not win any of their 2 matches that they have to play. So there's a very good chance they're going to be relegated to the minor league for the second season in February.
Yep, I'd say so too. And it kind of makes me worry. It makes me doubt myself because I know that Suleiman is considerably more clever than I am, and I wonder whether he is playing us and has a secret agenda here and wants to be relegated. What do you think, mate?
No, I think he's just approaching it with a bit of fun. I think Alliance Tournament 14 probably took a lot of effort for the team, his team, and I think that my guess is they probably just decided, let's just have some fun here. Let's just go into it. Let's not take it too super try hard, and let's just just have some fun with the format and play around and not worry too much whether or not we're going to win. I think that means that the other teams who have been trying harder, like Team Johnny, the other team who are sitting at the top there now of the table, they deserve the win because they've practiced a lot more, I think.
You'd say they're more hungry and keen on actually making it to the top. They have something to prove.
Possibly. Maybe not. I think Tuskers are just having not being laid back, possibly, but so I think that's probably why. It's interesting to see now that the top of the table now. I've got the other team, Team Johnny in second place, Team Pretty in third place, Volta in fourth. They were at the top at the end of the last one. Rep Cartel, obviously, we discussed, but down to fifth, and Team Footwork unfortunately sitting at the bottom there with 3 straight losses. Top table will probably be decided now in the first match of the next episode. The other team play Team Johnny in the first match on the December 11th. So we'll probably see who's going to come out top in the championship.
Absolutely. I am definitely looking forward to next weekend. It's going to be very, very good. I think there's some really close battles still to be had in both leagues, both on Saturday next week. There should be some really good matches still for the top 3. I think there may be some movement. I'm very much looking forward to seeing that. And also in the Major League, I think the other team is looking really solid, as is Team Johnny. But I still believe that there may be some movement in the top 3 for the Major League as well, which will be next week, Sunday. I'm going to wrap it up here very quickly. I'm going to do another quick shout out for our sponsors, Plantronics, who has provided us with the headsets that you can win. Again, next weekend. So next weekend we have another Rig 500 and a Rig 500E, which is very, very sexy. I'm kind of tempted to rig the whole tournament and keep one myself, but obviously I wouldn't do that because I'm not bad like that. Maybe not. Also want to give a quick shout out to CCP, who will also be attending us in the actual broadcast next week. We will have a CCP representative helping us broadcast and commentate on the matches both Saturday and Sunday. So I'll keep a little secret there who it's going to be, but we will have some CCP developers joining us on comms. Quick shout out to all the staff here this evening. Bay RJ, Rain Chocolate. We have EQ, who's one of our key streamers at the moment, who does some awesome new bro shows. Darius Johnson, thank you so much for helping us with all the tools in the background. Elinari Roden for doing all the statistics. Madden Camerande and Sutonia. Quick shout out then for some of the viewers, everybody that's obviously commented and watched this evening. Quick shout out for Rix as well for making the awesome green screen background horrible pictures of me on Twitter. They're very, very funny and I like them very much. Finally, if anybody is interested in joining the EVNT team, we are always looking for more people to either join our esports team as commentators or production team. We are also still looking for people for the marketing team, one of the aspects where we're really looking for some more help. Straight after this, Rain will send you through to one of our new streamers, Shandragon, a really awesome dude, and he's doing some new bro stuff on exploration, so it should be worth a watch. Stick around for this. Thank you very much and see you next weekend.